Good evening. You are watching UPNM Flash News, bringing you tonight's breaking updates on global sustainability and national structure. I'm Alhamakir, broadcasting live from the main desk. Tonight, we unpack two crucial issues impacting our future: the accelerating demands of global climate action under SDG 13, and the technological evolution sweeping through national public healthcare access under Sustainable Goal number 3. Let's begin our first story tonight. As local communities across Kuala Lumpur continue to grapple with severe, unpredictable flash floods and intensified seasonal heat waves, policymakers are facing immense pressure to scale up climate resilience. Now, to explore the global realities triggering these shifts, let's cross over live to our international correspondent, Joshua. Joshua, what's the latest news from the global climate front?
Thank you, Alham. The global outlook regarding climate change has transitioned from a distinct warning to an immediate emergency. According to the recent press release issued by the United Nations Environment Programme, or UNEP, the UN Secretary General has issued an emergent directive following alarming planetary temperature anomalies. Data indicates that the world is running at extreme risk of a permanent shooting the critical 1.5 degrees Celsius global warming threshold established under the Paris Agreement. This critical boundary is the tipping point for stabilizing ecological safety. The global community is being urged to aggressively implement deep structural cuts to carbon emission. Here in Southeast Asia, the legal and economic implications for this planetary warning are directly shaping national strategies. For a look into how Malaysia is codifying these requirements into law, we connect with our legislative reporter, Alice. Alice, bring us up to speed on the upcoming legislative blueprints.
Thank you, Joshua. Malaysia is responding to this global emergency by embedding comprehensive green architecture directly into its primary economic planning framework. According to legal profiles compiled by Climate Change Laws of the World, the government has formally integrated targeted green growth and climate resilience goals into the structure of the 13th Malaysia Plan, which runs from 2026 through 2030. This policy blueprint serves as the definitive legislative roadmap for the nation over the next 5 years. Rather than treating environmental sustainability as an afterthought, the framework positions ecological safety as a foundational pillar for macroeconomic stability. To understand how these policies measures translate into direct infrastructure spending and community protection, let us go down to our on-ground environmental reporter, Bhairavi. Bhairavi, what does it mean for cities like Kuala Lumpur?
Thanks, Alice. On the ground, these legislative pivots manifest an ambitious restructure of our cities and utility networks. A comprehensive policy shift analysis published by PwC Malaysia reveals that 13th Malaysia Plan drives into two massive initiatives. First, it accelerates our transitions to clean power, targeting a 35% renewable energy mix within the national grid to reduce carbon intensity. Second, it redirects substantial development expenditures into defensive infrastructures. For cities like Kuala Lumpur, which has been frequently paralyzed by devastating flash floods, this translates into aggressive structural flood mitigation projects, smart drainage system, and climate resilient urban engineering design to secure vulnerable communities. Back to you at the studio, Alham.
Thank you, Bhairavi, Alice, and Joshua, for that detailed breakdown. Now, it's clear that structural planning is the front line of defense against environmental instability. Turning now to our next major headline under Sustainable Development Goal number 3, good health and well-being. Sustainability is not merely an environmental, it is intrinsically linked to the health, equity, physical longevity, and medical security of our population. As Malaysia navigates changing population demographics and rising healthcare demands, the Ministry of Health is executing a massive modernization strategy to upgrade public healthcare delivery systems. Joining us now to break down the strategic parameters of this national overhaul is our public health correspondent, Heron. So, Heron, tell us a bit about the national agenda.
Thank you, Alham. The blueprint for Malaysia's healthcare future is taking definitive shape through strong international and domestic collaboration. The Ministry of Health Malaysia, in conjunction with the World Health Organization, recently launched an extensive public healthcare reform campaign synchronized with World Health Day. This campaign is officially driven by the theme Together for Health, Stand with Science. The core directive of this initiative addresses systematic vulnerabilities by modernizing clinical pathways and decentralizing diagnostic power away from over-congested tertiary hospitals and directly into primary healthcare environments. This strategy ensures that equitable, fast, and highly reliable clinic care is accessible to every level of society. To examine the underlying technical infrastructure enabling this medical leap, we pass the floor to our medical technology reporter Harshini.
Thank you, Heron. This national health transformation relies directly on a modern technical infrastructure. The Ministry of Health's official strategic framework outlines a massive multi-phase upgrade to our public clinics' digital data networks. The crown jewel of this upgrade is the widespread deployment of advanced AI-assisted clinical screening tools. By introducing AI diagnostics directly into community health facilities, frontline medical practitioners can instantly screen, triage, and identify high-risk cardiovascular markers, oncological anomalies, and respiratory systems with high precision. The track-driven approach minimizes diagnostic wait times, maximizes early treatment intervention rates, and closes the historical gap in healthcare equity between rural and urban populations. Reporting for UPNM Newsflash, back to you, Alham.
Thank you, Harshini and Heron. From deep structural commitments in green macroeconomics under the 13th Malaysia Plan to artificial intelligence integration across our national healthcare system, Malaysia is taking clear steps towards achieving its sustainable development benchmarks by the turn of the decade. Now, that concludes our breaking broadcast for tonight. Thank you for joining us on UPNM News Flash. Stay informed, stay safe, and have a good evening.